Another week in the books in the Big 12. What were the biggest games, the biggest upsets, and the biggest surprises? Okay, Anthony Totri, let's start with the game that caught both of us off guard at home. Number 22, Houston, freshly ranked off of beating Arizona State on the road, lose to West Virginia, 45-35. West Virginia's first win in the Big 12 this season. Down go the Cougars. Wow.
I couldn't believe it, to be honest with you. After what we just saw Connor Wigman do in Tempe to Arizona State, and they hadn't lost at home in how many seasons? And you're telling me West Virginia goes to Houston, does this despite Connor Wigman throwing 4 touchdowns today for Houston. A massive, massive win for West Virginia. That defense coming up big, getting a pick 6 on Connor Wigman. Houston now falling to 7-2. The Big 12, the top of it is still yet to be decided at this point.
This was maybe the most Pac-12 Big 12 game ever because Houston was riding high. Houston was near the top of all of our power rankings, and West Virginia's stinky. West Virginia has not been good. Now they've figured it out a little bit more as of late. It hasn't really resulted in wins, but I cannot believe that they put up 45 points.
45.
They scored in every quarter, 14 in the first, 7 in the second, 10 in the third, 14 in the fourth. So it wasn't just one big fluke half or a quarter. It was just utter domination from West Virginia. And Houston just wasn't good enough today, which was just shocking.
Yeah, I mean, outscoring them 24-14 in the second half tells you everything that you need to know. West Virginia, they wanted this one a little bit more, and it showed. Again, 45-35. Can't believe that at the end of the day is West Virginia beat Houston.
Yeah. I mean, Houston's, of course, Big 12 championship hopes are not completely in the gutter, but they did get a lot harder after a loss to Houston. Let's knock off a couple, let's just call them inconsequential games in the Big 12. UCF and Baylor, the battle of mid. Baylor wins convincingly 30-3, just a lone field goal for UCF, dropping them to 4-4 on the season, 1-4 in Big 12 play. Baylor picking up a win to go back up over 500 and 500 in Big 12 play. But at the end of the day, Totri, I feel like the only storyline we're watching out of this game with these teams is what happens with Dave Aranda. How does he finish the season, and does he keep his job?
Yeah, it's 1,000% all eyes on Dave Aranda on the hot seat. I don't know about you. I'm also very interested into what Sawyer Robertson does every single week. Threw it again 40 times today, 267, 3 touchdowns, no INTs. He continues to do just wild things offensively for Baylor. They're mid. UCF is whatever a tier below mid is. Offensively, they can't do anything. They haven't been able to do anything all year on offense. And just 3 points to show for it. One win, 4 losses so far for the Knights in the Big 12 this season. Just not a solid year.
Yeah, which is so funny because, they started off, pretty hot, and it was like, oh, wow, maybe they can actually do something.
They did it last year too, though.
Yeah. Here's a question for you. What is the lowest amount of attempts that Sawyer Robertson has had in a game this season?
Ooh. I'm going to go 30.
Today he had 40.
I'm going to go 33.
Okay. 26.
Wow.
Do you want to guess against who?
26 attempts. I feel like I have to guess ASU.
No. ASU, 39 attempts. 26 attempts against Cincinnati last week on the road in their 41-20 loss. Other than that, Sawyer Robertson this season, 48, 50, 37, 39, 35, 39, 52, 26, and then 40. So the next lowest was 35.
Wow.
That dude,
it's unbelievable how often they have him throw the football, dude.
Dude slings the rock. But Baylor still not doing too great on the season. The Baylor student newspaper put out a poster that said, should Baylor fire Dave Aranda? And you can put a sticky note next to yes or no. And the yes side of the board was very, very filled. But from a potential head coaching change to a team that underwent one mid-season, Oklahoma State still looking for their first win in Big 12 play, dropping to Kansas 38-21. Oklahoma State 1-8 on the season, 0-6 in the Big 12. Kansas back over 500 overall, but 3-3 in Big 12 play.
Yeah, we're getting dangerously close if you're an Oklahoma State fan to going 2 full years without getting a win in the Big 12. Oklahoma State, I feel like just a few years ago was a yard away or an inch away from going to the CFP, and here we are. You mentioned you had to fire Mike Gundy midseason, and now you're losing to a team in Kansas that is fresh off an ass kicking that they took from Kansas State. So things, I guess, are still bad for Oklahoma State.
I mean, are we surprised? I mean, it wasn't like, hey, you're going to fire Mike Gundy or mutually part ways, whatever the decision was. However they want to phrase it, he's gone. And then the team's just going to magically get better. It is more for the future of the program. But Kansas, man. I think Kansas fans are excited for the end of Jalen Daniels' long career.
Yeah.
Long career.
It has been a long one. Hey, Kansas and Jalen Daniels put together one hell of a stretch last year that ultimately had a massive, massive impact on what happened in terms of who went to the Big 12 championship in 2024. This year, they've got 3 games left, so they still have a bye week. They got Arizona, kind of an inconsequential game. Then ISU. Look at the end of the year, though, when they take on Utah. Could be a fun one. Kansas and Utah. Let's see if Jalen Daniels has one last hurrah in him.
I mean, let's hope so. We'll get to Utah here in a second, but let's keep the possible coach hot seat talk rolling here, Totri. The Arizona Wildcats beat the crap out of the Colorado Buffaloes on the road, 52-17. Arizona 5-3 on the year, 1 win away from bowling in year 2 under Brent Brennan, but 2-3 in the Big 12. Colorado 3-6 on the year, 1-5 in the Big 12. But it's not just the fact that they're losing, Totri. It's how they're losing and how they look when they're on the field. This might be the worst team in the conference despite having 3 wins on the season.
Well, they definitely have the worst defense in the conference. They've given up 105 points now in the last 2 games combined. You are going to have a very tough time winning football games when you can't keep anybody out of the end zone. And then offensively, it's more of the same for Colorado. They don't look like they have any sort of semblance of a rhythm offensively. At the quarterback position, again, they played 3 different quarterbacks tonight. 4 different players threw a pass for them. And at the end of the day, none of them were really good. Caden Salter was the best one, 11 of 15, 49 yards, a touchdown, and an INT. It's not good enough when your defense is giving up 50 burgers every single week.
No, it's not. Now, here's the decision that Colorado has to make. Obviously, Deion's a cash cow. Obviously, Deion is a guy who has brought a lot of excitement to that program, a lot of eyes, a lot of big names, a lot of celebrities. But the football is not good, Totri.
Dude, so they just paid him. They just gave him a fat extension.
Huge. So what's next? I mean, here's the thing. Does Deion stay there? I get is it on Deion? Is it on the program? Are they just in lockstep until the end and they're just going to be a bad team with a whole lot of flair? Like, what's the future look like in Boulder?
I have no idea. But what I do know is the Big 12 is always upside down. Last year, Dave Aranda was on the hot seat at the start of the season, and then they magically had a run at the end, and they were what everybody was picking them as a really solid team this year. Look where they're at. Anything can happen in this conference. Worst to first last year for ASU. Utah had a crazy bad year last season, so like anything can happen. Colorado and Deion, I feel like they're going to be together for still a very, very long time.
Well, now to the point where would another school even want Deion, right?
Not probably in the Power 4.
No. I think, maybe the Power 4, but not a good Power 4 program. Do you know Colorado's remaining schedule? I know you know one of the games.
Oh, I don't know it off the top of my head.
So they are at West Virginia next week, which that has now turned into a game where that's not an easy game for them.
No.
Okay. Then they're at home against Arizona State, who still looks good with Jeff Sims. We'll get to them in a second. And then they're at Kansas State and Manhattan to end the season. I don't see them picking up another win.
3-9, or I think they probably beat West Virginia, just based off of how college football parity works, dude. Just based. There's no reason Colorado should win. There's no reason Colorado should win next week at all. They're gonna beat West Virginia only because West Virginia just beat Houston. That's the Big 12.
That's fair. As far as Arizona goes, Totri, they pick up another win, but their wins this season are against Hawaii, Weber State, Kansas State, which looks better, as time goes on, Oklahoma State, and then Colorado. Their remaining schedule, they take on Kansas, Cincinnati, Baylor, and Arizona State. They need one more win to go bowling. Do they get it?
Ooh.
Kansas, Cincinnati, at Cincinnati, home against Baylor, at Arizona State. Kansas is at home.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say they don't get it. I think that Kansas game is going to be their best opportunity. I think they probably lose a close one there. And then if I just had to make up some story at the end of the year, I would say it's probably too much for them to bounce back against Cincinnati, Baylor, and then Arizona State.
Yeah. Fair enough. Kansas State was mentioned a couple of minutes ago. Let's get to them. They put up a fight in a game against Texas Tech, where Texas Tech was just too much in the third and the fourth quarter. Tech rolls 43-20 after putting up 17 in the third and 14 in the fourth. Texas Tech, the number 13 team in the nation this weekend, now 8-1, 5-1 in the Big 12. Of course, that only lost to Arizona State. They are still right there in a great position to make the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, I mean, Texas Tech, that offense, just we saw it turn on once again. 249 yards to the air for Bayard Morton, 187 total yards on the ground for the Red Raiders. Jacoby Williams had himself a day, $135 and a touchdown. I know they're excited about him in Lubbock. And then just on the other side, Avery Johnson just couldn't do enough overall for this Kansas State team for it to be competitive in the second half.
Yeah. Speaking of competitive, a competitive one against Arizona State and Iowa State on the road in Ames. No Sam Leavitt, no Jordan Tyson, no Ben Coleman. These are all conference selections at their position. Arizona State still found a way. Huh?
No problem, though.
No problem. I mean, Jeff Sims, over 400 yards of offense, broke the Arizona State single-game rushing record for a quarterback, plus the second longest rushing touchdown with an 88-yard touchdown. Arizona State 24-19 over Iowa State, officially eliminating the Cyclones from Big 12 championship contention, and their first rematch since they eliminated them from Big 12 championship contention at a later point in the season last year.
Yeah, this was the battle of the wounded warriors. From start to finish, you knew that both these squads were really decimated with injuries offensively, defensively. But Jeff Sims, man, take a bow. Everybody in Tempe owes this man an apology. Like you said, 400 plus yards of total offense. Broke the school record for total yards on the ground by a quarterback in a game. 228, 2 touchdowns. Broke one for 88 yards. And Shimon Mateer, like they had themselves a day. Kenny Dillingham proves to be one of the best coaches in this conference and definitely the country.
Yeah, and they might be getting Jordan Tyson back, a much-needed bye week before their at-home homecoming against West Virginia in 2 weekends. Be interesting to see what the top NFL prospect wide receiver does, if he does come back, how his hamstring is healing. And if Arizona State, obviously they're bowl eligible now, but if they can get 3 more wins, a Big 12 championship isn't exactly an easy route for them to get to with some of the other teams going on. It's not impossible, but a 9-3 season, considering all the injuries that Arizona State has undergone and losing Sam Leavitt for the season, that'd be pretty big for ASU and for morale heading into an offseason, and then year 3 in the Big 12 next year.
Yeah, I mean, 9-3 with at that point, you're going to a bowl game potential to pick up a 10th win on the year. Back-to-back 10-plus win seasons would be amazing off of back-to-back 3-9 seasons. Sliver of a hope for the Big 12 championship. I know these guys are going to compete in every single game until you tell them that they're absolutely eliminated from contention. So, yeah, I mean, Arizona State, you never know what they're going to do every single week, man. It's fun. And then for Iowa State, offensively, just not enough.
Yeah, no, there's some calls for a quarterback change in Ames from some fans. So I think that's very interesting. Also, I've seen some coordinator talk from their fans as well. ASU got through the gauntlet part of their schedule: Utah, Texas Tech, Iowa State, Houston. Now they take on West Virginia at home, on the road against Colorado, and then at home against U of A. What's their hardest game for the rest of the season?
I'm going to go ahead and say Arizona. I know West Virginia just beat Houston. I'm not scared of Colorado at all, but you brought it up earlier, Arizona's wins. They're not necessarily against great teams, but what they have done is they have cleaned up against the bottom of the barrel, which tells me that they're at the very least a middle of the pack team. So like we said, you never know what you're going to get from Arizona State any given game, given some of the injuries that they faced. So I would say that's probably the toughest game left for Arizona State. I still think they go 3-0 in that stretch, though.
Well, they're going to need it if they want to catch Cincinnati or Utah, who are in the middle of playing right now as we speak. Devin Dampier just threw an interception. Cincinnati, 14-24. They're down to Utah at Rice Eccles. Big time implications for the future of this conference, Totri. If Sorsby can get it done today, 6-0 in Big 12 play, 8-1 overall, or Utah, if they're able to hold on to what is now a 10-point lead with 7 minutes left in the third quarter, they move to 7-2 on the season and 4-2 in conference. This is if you want your Big 12 championship hopes to stay alive game for Utah, you can't blow this lead tonight.
Yeah, you absolutely can't blow it. And then if you're Cincinnati on the other side, it feels like a lot of what people have been saying all year long about some of the other good teams in this conference, like Houston. You got to go beat somebody, right? Because Cincinnati's wins up to this point, Kansas, not very good. An Iowa State team that's been beat up. UCF, Oklahoma State, and Baylor. This is their first real test. Obviously a big one against Kyle Whittingham's Utah team and Devin Dampier. If they find themselves clawing back in this game, Cincinnati's legit. And that could fuel them far enough to actually make the Big 12 championship game this year, which would just be wild.
Yeah, I mean, it would be, especially in a year where nobody was talking about Cincinnati to be the team that could do it. If they do, that's just 2 years in a row where nobody expected somebody like that to be there. Utah, on the other hand, getting Devin Dampier back, I know he just threw an interception. That's big time for them. And if they can win this game, then that path remains open for them. Obviously, no BYU this week, who still remains at the top of the conference, undefeated. So we'll have to see what they're doing going forward. We'll be keeping track of the Big 12 right here on PHNX Sports with PHNX Sun Devils. Let us know what we got right, what we got wrong for our reactions and our takes down in the comments below. If you need more Arizona State coverage, well, you found the perfect place to get it. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. We cover ASU, and we, of course, get into the entire landscape of the Big 12. So make sure you stick around for future weeks, our breakdowns, and our predictions. We'll see you around.